Oh, what? Whoa, Kyle, your shirt just suddenly changed. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to a Padres game after this.
Oh, cool. Is that a sport?
Yeah, it is a sport.
Oh.
Yeah, they play the stick ball.
Okay, with the stick in the ball.
Yeah, it's like cricket.
With red threads in the ball.
That's the one.
That's the one. Okay.
But the problem is, all the good seats are in the vaccinated section.
Oh.
So, but I don't want to get vaccinated because I don't want to grow a third arm. So I'm going to wear my I identify as vaccinated T-shirt.
Guaranteed to work in any situation.
Guaranteed, 100% or your money back.
So what I love about this shirt is that we work very hard on our jokes at Babylon B and our one joke. And this is our one joke, and it's been honed down to this.
This is the final form.
The final form
of the joke. Our CEO was like, "Hey, you should just do a shirt that says identifies vaccinated." We did it, and it's like
it just sold like crazy.
Nice.
Made all of our money for this month just on this shirt.
Yeah, but they're still available.
Shop.babylonb.com. Check it out.
It's already being pirated by other companies and sold.
This logo has been stolen and sold all over the place, but buy the official one.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere you need to go. We have one's for men, one's for women, one's agender.
Coffee mugs, everything.
Hats, everything you need.
Face mask.
If you're a premium Babylon B subscriber, you have a discount too.
Sorry.
Dang it, Ethan. If you're a premium Babylon B subscriber, you have a discount on your email that you can use. Discount code. So,
don't discount that.
Anyway. Pastors, is there any profession more American? I'm asking a question. I don't know.
Baseball coach.
No, that's probably more.
Pie maker.
That's true. I take it back.
Soldier.
So today on the Babylon B Interview Show, we're talking to a pastor, and his name is Pastor Gabriel Hughes. I have followed him on Twitter for a while. Years, I think.
I followed him today.
And you followed him today. And I think he followed you today.
Yeah.
And he had followed me for years.
Yeah. Yeah, he's this guy. He likes to say really provocative things and get everybody going on Twitter and stuff, so we called him out.
Yeah, and you know what's good for an interview show is a guy who's real provocative.
Yeah.
So we said, let's bring him on and get him to say things that are provocative.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. And he makes these videos called What? That stands for what?
W-U-T.
What? What would the text say?
When we understand the text.
That. And yeah, they're great. They're these short videos. He has a ton of them, and they go through like parts of the Bible and things that people get wrong, and
like 90-second explainers.
And he has a very radio-y voice, so it works well.
Yeah. So people say like, "Hey, man, can Christians be gay?" And he goes, "Well, if you will turn in your Bible to
90 seconds,"
and he does that.
Boom. So yeah, we talked to Gabriel Hughes.
Leviticus. Yeah, we talked to him, and here it is.
Oh wait, should we say like?
Oh,
well, we said that. You can look him up on YouTube. What? Okay, and we'll put the website down there in the text stuff.
When we understand the text.
Yeah.
Hi, Gabe. Welcome, Pastor Gabriel Hughes. How are you today?
Hey, doing good, guys.
Good.
Although it's kind of weird being on this end and being interviewed by the Babylon Bee. I feel like I should be interviewing you guys.
You do have the
that'd be
interview
easier.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do it?
Do you want to ask? Is there anything you want to ask us?
Who am I compared to the Babylon Bee? I actually started following Kyle on Twitter when you only had like 100 followers.
You were one of the OGs, man.
Yeah, I was pretty early. Where was I around? You were around 200 something, I think.
Probably in there, yeah.
That's before you became Mr. Provocative Tweeter.
I tweet hardly anything provocative, but he's the provocative one.
He is, that's true. He's trying.
That's why we're having him. I know you as the guy who tweets stuff that I'm like, I think I agree with that, but I wouldn't have tweeted it.
I think there was a point where I was following Ethan, but I think when Twitter did their great purge, somehow
they got
disconnected from
you. I wonder what happens there. Well, you can refollow maybe. I don't know.
I just did.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So yeah, we're connected again. We're simpatico.
Perfect.
I like it. So you do these short videos called "When We Understand the Text," or
what?
What? That's right. It's my Tim Allen coming out right there.
Something like that. So I'm looking at some of your videos here, and maybe you can give us the short version of the 90-second version of some of these.
I don't know. I think the explanation generally goes longer than the video itself.
Oh, maybe that's true. Are you stupid?
That's
one of your videos. It's called "Are You Stupid?"
Yeah, that's right.
So I was
talking about us or him.
So in Baptist circles, there's always that thing of like, you should never say the word stupid. It's one of the S words that your kids aren't supposed to say, along with shut up, you know?
Mm-hmm. In other words.
So whenever I've said it in a sermon, I've always get that comment from a mom who says, now that you've said stupid, my kid's going to say it at home to their siblings. And they're going to reply, well, Pastor Gabe said it in a sermon, so it's okay. You know, Proverbs 12:1 says that the wise man loves to be corrected, but the stupid man hates reproof. So that video kind of goes through occasions in which stupid is used, and we may have a biblical understanding of the word stupid.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the fool in the Bible. That's just a stupid guy. And I often fit the description.
It's true. I can verify that.
We are all fools in need of the wisdom of Christ.
Was Jesus a refugee?
Oh, is that one of the videos?
That's one of them. I'm asking.
Oh.
Yeah, so that video kind of takes it from the position of, well, it depends on what your definition of refugee is. But then also pointing out that these persons who are making this particular argument are Democrats who are saying that Jesus is a refugee to try to push their immigration politics. And the Democrats would actually side with somebody more like Herod rather than with Mary and Joseph and Jesus. Herod, who was trying to kill the Christ child because of the abortion-loving politics that the Democrats implement. So they do even worse than Herod did with the massacre of the innocents, which killed a few dozen children, whereas Democrats in their policies are killing thousands of babies a day through the abortion policies that they implement. So that's really the point that's being made there in 90 seconds.
Yeah. Are Democrats stupid? No, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'll stop. Ethan's giving me a look.
I am?
No.
I don't give looks.
So I got a question.
Okay, yeah,
for
you
ask
us questions.
I got one here too. Yeah. So this goes back to the interview that you guys had with Doug Naples, which I loved. I was a big Earthworm Jim fan when I was in high school.
Okay.
Played it on Super Nintendo all the time. It was one of my favorite video games. And so I loved listening to that interview. But there was something that y'all said, I think in the very beginning. It was said that you were the DC talk of Christian satire. And Doug kind of pushed back on that. He's like, I don't know, that's a little too big for your britches there to be calling yourself the DC talk of Christian satire. You're more like the Newsboys. So you all agreed on being the Newsboys of Christian satire.
Okay.
But as I'm watching that, I'm going, now hang on. If Babylon Bee is the Newsboys of Christian satire, then who is the DC talk of Christian satire?
That does beg the question.
Right.
Who is?
Because we're like kind of the only, right?
Or are we the Carmen? It depends what era.
Yeah.
Like, who's DC Talk now? Is DC Talk still DC Talk? Who's like the biggest? I don't even know.
DC Talk is, they're DC Talk in memory only, I think, now at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like, Newsboys are News Talk.
Yeah, because now they have Michael Tate.
They pulled DC Talk into the Newsboys.
Yeah.
It's all, they're all, what's the word? Incestuous.
No, that's not the right word.
They're all commingling. Like Supertones got some other guy from another band, and then the DC Talk.
I had a nickel every time you use the word together. Incestuous.
It's a catch-all.
He's still looking for the right place to use that word.
Commingling.
Always trying to wedge it in.
Intermingling.
One day it's going to be genius. He's going to say it, and you're going, that's it. That's the spot. That's the exact spot to use the word. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I heard there was some guy trying to marry his daughter or something recently. So that would work for that. It was in the news.
If you're studying through 1 Corinthians 5, it works there as well.
Okay.
Do you guys want to start over? No, just kidding.
Well, we could do our list here. We got to.
Okay, yeah. Let's kick things off with a fun game of sin or not sin. And we like to do this with pastors. I think we've only done it with
just one. Yeah.
Joe Thorne so far. But we're trying to do this with more pastors.
Yeah. So we'll just we'll lob these at you. You can answer them fast, slow, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Fast or slow.
Yeah. So sin or not sin. Here we go. Vaping like a total cheese bag.
Well, like a total cheese bag, yes, that's a sin. Yeah.
Is it
ordinary vaping, maybe not so much, but like a total cheese bag, you're definitely pushing it.
How does one vape not like a cheese bag?
That's the question. Is there a non-cheese bag way? I think it's inherent. Yeah.
No answer.
I've not seen or encountered many cheese bags.
Really? Wow.
Not in the metaphorical sense, in the literal sense. What is a chease bag?
It's
just a bag with cheese in it.
It keeps your cheese fresh.
Okay.
Stay fresh cheese bag.
So,
that was the little meme that went around. There's like an actual thing called "Stay Fresh Cheese Bags." It sounds like the thing you'd say as you leave the room. Stay fresh cheese bags, and you hit or something like Bruce Willis would say after he murdered everybody in the room.
So is this?
I think.
Yeah, in the PG-13 version that gets put on TV. Probably.
Yeah, that's the cable correction. All right, throwing up the sign of the horns while listening to heavy metal.
You guys just did it. I mean,
but we're not sin or not sin. Yeah. But that was just for example.
Yeah.
I don't. No, not literally a sin. No. Okay. I mean, you think of like Romans 14:23 that says, "Whatever does not proceed from faith is sin." So what is throwing up the horn supposed to be symbolizing when you do it? This is the Apostle Paul talking to the Corinthians about, we know that an idol is an empty thing. There's nothing to an idol. It's just it's wood or it's stone or whatever else. So there's nothing inherently wrong or inherently sinful about going into a pagan temple, in other words. But what sort of message does that pass on to somebody else? Does somebody see you doing that and then it therefore causes them to stumble? Well, in which case you've sinned because you've caused them to sin. So we need to consider the same thing when we would do something like throwing up the horns. Like, are we doing that because, hey, I'm rebelling against the establishment, or I've redeemed this, it means something else now than it used to? Is somebody else going to see us doing that and think that it's okay to participate in these things, and therefore they start listening to devil music or whatever, Judas Priest backwards, and they have caused themselves to sin, and we've participated in that therefore as well. So it's a matter of being considerate of one another, not using your Christian liberty to say, look, I can do this and there's nothing wrong with it.
Of the 2 times we've done this, that was the most in-depth answer to that question. Is jazzercise a sin?
I don't think I really know what jazzercise is.
It was big in the 80s.
Or what?
Oh, yeah, you're talking like the 80s spandex.
Yeah.
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 I don't think that can be redeemed.
Is a jazzercise outfit outerwear or underwear?
Please put something else on.
There, yeah.
I think everybody is begging, cover that up.
So jazzercise should be done in like a big cardigan sweater and baggy pants.
If you do it in baggier clothes, then it would be holy.
It would be.
Okay.
Well, doesn't he have a tweet about this?
Yeah, that's why I was referring to a tweet.
What's the tweet?
It said bikinis and leggings are underwear, not outerwear. And it shows a lady doing makeup.
And she's thinking.
Oh, she's thinking with a pencil.
Thinking with a pencil.
Yeah.
That was that actually came from a what video too, in fact. Okay. But this goes back to the same thing again, being considerate of others. And you have a lot of discussion that's going on right now whenever you start talking about a woman needing to cover herself up or dress modestly as being instructed in 1 Timothy 2. then some of the pushback on that is, well, that's rape culture, because you're saying to a man when you're telling a woman that she needs to cover up, that it wasn't really his fault that he had a sinful thought about a woman when she dressed the way that she did. That's not what's being communicated at all. I mean, I'm pretty straightforward about the fact that men need to take their thoughts captive and make them obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Every man has a responsibility to do that. But just the same as we're talking about being considerate of others, women, our Christian sisters, do need to be mindful of the fact that men's brains work differently than women's minds do. A woman wears a bikini to be seen. There's nothing about that she's doing that to in modesty. There's nothing modest about that. She wants her body to be noticed. And so for Christian women especially, you need to take in mind that we need to be considerate of one another. Philippians 2, putting each other's needs ahead of our own. Men need to do that as well as women do. But on the subject of dress as it pertains to bikinis in particular, as we're entering the summer months, as things are starting to get warmer, be mindful even of your swimwear, what you wear when you go out in recreation.
I fall short of a lot of things in the Bible, but as far as not walking around in a Speedo, I've never done that. So I'm very considerate of other people.
That's great.
And that brings us to our next one. Bikinis, sin or not sin? No, that's not in here. We're living in uncertain times, and millions have come to realize the importance of the Second Amendment.
Yeah, if you're looking for the perfect accessory to go with that perfect firearm, get an American-made holster from my friends at We the People Holsters.
Starting at just $40, We the People holsters are custom molded to fit your exact firearm for a quick, smooth draw.
They have thousands of options to choose from, plus a selection of custom printed holsters, including a line from Real Tree Camouflage.
While you're there, check out their complete line of patriotic shirts and new EDC tactical gun belt, which comes with their exclusive Talon buckle, which is manufactured 100% in the United States.
Every holster and gun belt comes with a lifetime guarantee.
If it's not a perfect fit, send it back for a full refund.
Oh, and don't forget to pick up some bags of their mouth-watering bacon jerky.
What? Did I hear that right?
Yes, you heard correctly. Bacon jerky. So show your support for this show and this great American company.
Go to wethepeopleholsters.com/B, B-E-E, right now.
Get an additional $10 off with the offer code B10. Is that right?
Yeah, B-E-E-10. wethepeopleholsters.com/B-E-E. wethepeopleholsters.com/B-E-E. Or B,
That's how you spell B.
Like Babylon B, not the letter.
Well done steak.
I just got told recently that I was sinning because I had requested a well-done steak.
Oh.
So I'm presently in a process of examining my own conscience to find out whether I'm sinning or not by eating my steak well done.
Yeah, it would be better to eat meat sacrificed to idols than a well-done steak. Reading a Doug Wilson book, sin or not sin?
Oh, you're immediately under church discipline.
Yeah,
in a big Eva church, if you have read a Doug Wilson book. I love Doug Wilson. Was just browsing his Twitter this morning, as a matter of fact. He doesn't update enough, I don't think. But I think the guy has been sharing a lot of good wisdom, in particular with the stuff that's been going on in the world. Him and James White sure take a lot of heat for the stuff that they say, but I mean, it's kind of like, look at what they've said and look what's going on in the culture. They've been pretty right so far.
A tattoo, especially of John Piper's face.
I take a tattoo as being a matter of conscience as well. I don't have any personally, but I'm not looking down on anybody who gets them.
Close one.
It's kind of like, if that's the way you want to spend your money, and then that's going to be on you permanently. Well, that's up to you.
But of John Piper's face, what about that part? Getting John Piper's face tattooed on you.
I think that would be a question you'd have to ask John Piper if he would think that would be a sin or not.
It's got to be somebody who's done it.
I think anybody's got a tattoo of John Piper.
Somebody. It's just that when you reach a certain level, somebody gets a tattoo of you, or of something you did or whatever. So I'm thinking he's at that level.
No one has a tattoo of you. Well, they have an axe cop.
But there's axe cop tattoos. There's Bearmageddon tattoos. There's some things I've made.
I wonder if anyone's got a Babylon Bee tattoo.
Probably. Yeah.
If I was going to do a tattoo, it would be Bearmageddon.
Okay.
Nice.
Full back Octobear.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing.
exactly. That's why I wear the suit jacket, then nobody can see it.
Sprinkling a baby with water. Sin or not sin?
Well, I bathe my kids that way, so perfectly okay.
Yeah, but you put them fully immerse your children, I assume.
You bathe
That is
them.
true. I mean,
a small
even when it
sprinkle?
comes even when it comes to bathing my children, I was still fully Baptist in that process as well. So it's full immersion.
Following John MacArthur on Twitter. Sin or not sin?
That is a matter of your sanctification to follow John MacArthur. Even though he's not tweeting anything, it's still sanctifying for you to be following John MacArthur on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, I very much doubt he knows how to log into Twitter.
How about converting to Catholicism? If you hear the guy cackling in the background, he's our resident Catholic.
I don't have that one.
I added it a long time ago, though. You're not updated.
I'm not updated, yeah.
Yes.
Listen up, Patrick.
Don't do that.
Reading relevant magazine.
Is fine because I've had to read it sometimes, occasionally. It depends on if you are taking instruction from them or not. Don't do that.
So reading it for academic purposes.
That's right. Read it for that's why I have that stamp in my office that says heretical for research purposes only. I'm sure to stamp a few books with that before they go on my shelf.
Right.
Drinking IPAs, especially when there's perfectly good bourbon nearby.
I drink neither, so I.
Well, now you answered one of our questions already, or one of the 10 questions.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Spoilers. Watching Game of Thrones, sin or not sin?
Yeah, I would. I have to back myself up on that since I've done a video on this. That it's not good for a Christian to be entertained by things like this, where you have rampant sexuality was going on in a lot of these shows. I was very disheartened and disappointed with a lot of my brothers and sisters in the faith who were raving about the show. Like, hey, did you see this week's episode? So it's not just a matter of I've watched a couple of episodes and boy, this is so awful, I can't keep going with this. This is something that they're continually being entertained by and investing themselves in. And you're watching people on the screen who are getting naked and doing things with each other sexually you would not be okay with your spouse doing with somebody else. And so it is not good for us as Christians to be entertained by these things either. It's, as Ray Comfort has put it, and I've loved Comfort's analogy, do you think it's okay for you to stand at somebody's bedroom window and watch them have sex? What's the difference between that and watching two people have sex on Game of Thrones?
Is that sin? No. What if you watch it
with
a
lot
of clarity?
Explanatory.
What about with VidAngel?
Yeah, what if you watch it with VidAngel?
So what is? To what extent is VidAngel cutting all of that out?
So what you do on VidAngel, I've never used
things
VidAngel,
you want to cut out. Yeah, I've never done it either. Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah, I do everything with VidAngel. But you go, you get to check like I want to see no nudity, or I see no sex, or no language, or you check what you don't want, and then it'll.
Can you pick like if you want full frontal or not full frontal? How specific can you get?
I don't know. Bikinis or no bikinis.
Yeah.
Check.
No jazzercise.
I can't share this interview with my family now.
We'll bleep that.
Yeah.
What is this one?
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Move on to the next one.
Okay, slamming a door in a Mormon missionary's face. Sin or not sin?
I don't know.
He's had to think hard on this one.
Yeah.
Stumped him.
I'm more inclined to want to invite him in and say, yeah, sure, let's have a conversation so that I can kind of show them the errors of Mormonism and introduce them to the true gospel. But slamming a door on a Mormon's face, you just mean like angrily just go away, slam.
Like you say, you have a moment to talk about Jesus Christ and you just go, boom, and you walk away.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with just closing the door and not engaging, but I would be, I certainly wouldn't take the position of saying that you do that angrily or do some sort of spiteful condemnation of them, because the instruction we have in 2 Timothy 2 is that the Lord's servant must be kind to everyone and correcting opponents with gentleness. So, I mean, there may be occasions where I just don't want to deal with this today, and so you're just shutting the door, being polite about it.
Yeah.
I don't think that a person is necessarily in sin because they did not take the opportunity to share with a Mormon that their Mormonism was wrong and what the true gospel is.
What if you say, "Not today, Satan," while you slam the door? Would that then...
Our Mormon listeners are going to love us.
Is it my turn?
Sure.
Doing DMT on the Joe Rogan show. Sin or not sin?
Yeah, I am very against even the recreational use of marijuana. I don't think that giving your mind over to something where, I mean, it's basically a form of drunkenness. So when we're talking in the scriptures about where we're told not to be given over to drunkenness, but to be filled with the Spirit, being under the influence of some sort of a drug like that would be the same thing, where we're letting our minds be taken over by a substance, just like one would drink themselves unto drunkenness. So it would be the same with smoking dope.
Smoking dope.
So you don't agree with the view that John wrote Revelation while high on DMT?
You don't have to respect.
No, I don't take that view at all.
That's a going theory.
Yeah. So I did watch the interview between Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro, a portion of that interview where Shapiro was saying that the miracles in the Bible weren't real, that there were always like natural explanations for them. I don't know if he took the position that like Moses was smoking something crazy at the burning bush, but sounds like something that Joe Rogan would at least conclude.
He's made like a brush fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Now all my respect for Shapiro stonks down.
But yeah, he believes that like the Red Sea was even a wind blew it apart.
Those like naturalistic explanations people do. Yeah.
Talking donkey? Wait, is that New Testament?
That's Old Testament.
That's Old Testament?
Yeah, Balaam was definitely on something to hear a donkey talking to him if that wasn't a miraculous occurrence.
I think it's your turn. We got one more for you.
Looting from a local GameStop in the name of justice.
Definitely sin. Thou shalt not steal.
Yeah, but it's for justice.
Yeah,
we just told you that, dude.
Yeah, there's nuances.
God is for justice. Jeez.
No, justice with GameStop is making their stock rise and getting rich off of that. There's the godly justice there.
All right, well, that's our list. We've
that's
settled
all we have.
All our sins and not sins.
Cool stories that you want to tell us?
Well, yeah, I think I enjoy following Kyle on Twitter, particularly for my 90s throwbacks to contemporary Christian music.
Yeah.
Because that was my era. I enjoyed that. So every time you're throwing in some sort of trivia or love for DC Talk or Switchfoot or anybody from that era.
Were you allowed to listen? Were you raised Baptist? Were you allowed to listen to CCM? Because we hear this a lot, that people will say that CCM was like a sin in their household.
Yeah, I was definitely allowed to listen to it. And anything, even Christian heavy rock, my dad let me listen to it as long as it wasn't secular. So none of the secular music was allowed in my house. There was one time when I was a kid, even tried to sneak Thriller into the house and it burned up at the front door. So there was no way that was getting in. Anybody remember the movie Free Willy? Did you watch that as a kid? Okay. So there's the Michael Jackson song at the very end.
Oh, yeah.
I recorded that on my boombox, and my dad caught me doing that and took my boombox away from me. So the secular music was not allowed, but I could listen to anything Christian. So even bands like DC Talk, Newsboys, they were all okay.
Yeah, we were very similar. It was like if it was in the Christian bookstore, we could get it.
Right.
And I remember in particular, like we bought MXPX CDs. They weren't really Christian, but that was like as far as we could go.
Project 86.
Yeah, that was like the rebelling. And I think MXPX's live CD, they did a cover of The KKK Took My Baby Away, but it wasn't on the Christian version. You know, if you stole it, the Christian bookstore didn't have that because it said the word KKK. So that's we could not listen to the secular version of that album, but we could listen to the one in the Christian bookstore. So
now I grew up backstage at a lot of these shows. My dad used to do. He used to promote Christian concerts, and so when I lived in Columbia, South Carolina as a kid, it was the Columbia Coliseum, and he would be doing concerts with guys like Phil Keaggy. And Harvest. I don't know if anybody remembers Harvest. Keith Green. My dad was actually friends with Keith Green back in the day. The church that I attend now, I'm associate pastor at First Baptist Church in Lindale, Texas, and Dallas Home is a member of this church. And so my dad will text me every once in a while on a Sunday morning and he'll say, hey, if you see Dallas today, ask him if he remembers so-and-so from back in like 1982. So I think my dad's living vicariously through my connection to Dallas Home right now.
Fantastic.
Did you ever see Phil Keaggy like just berate a roadie? Like, hey, Mike goes over here. Wash off my guitar before you give it to me.
Not Keaggy, but you definitely see more the real side of some of these guys in Christian music. And that's not to say anything, negative about them. It's just you're reminded that they're human beings. We tend to put them up on a pedestal, and all you see of these guys is either what you see on their album cover or you see them up on a stage performing or things like that. But, a lot of times these guys would travel with their families. So you see their families backstage. I had the chance to babysit one of Toby McKeon's kids when he was on tour with Audio Adrenaline. That was Audio Adrenaline's last tour before Mark Stewart hung his hat up. And so, it's neat that I got to grow up in that atmosphere and kind of see that side of contemporary Christian music, but it also took the away of it for me. I didn't ever grow up with that idea of like seeing these guys as superstars or things like that.
When you scroll Facebook and you count on Facebook to give you the content that you want to read, it's like you're going up to Mark Zuckerberg every morning, knocking on his door and saying, hey, Mark Zuckerberg, what should I read this morning? Or you could just support the Babylon Bee. BabylonBee.com/plans. You can subscribe. You get full-length podcasts, ad-free podcasts. You get ad-free web browsing on our site, premium content. At certain levels, you even get access to a little social network that our friends at Not the Bee have created.
Yeah, be part of the community, the in-crowd, the bee crowd.
Well, let's go to our subscriber portion. So we're going to go to our subscriber exclusive portion now. And you're going to tell us about stupid things Christians say, rather. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go through some of your tweets that got you in hot water on social media. And we're going to ask you to defend them.
Okay. We're going to try to get you canceled.
My elders already did this with me. So,
well, yeah. We have more spiritual authority than your elders. So here we go. Let's do it. Subscriber portion.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee subscribers.
So these are dumb stuff that Christians say.
All right. Well, we want to get into his tweets here. Really?
Yeah. Let's get Gabe.
Crank up the heat.
All right. Now it's stupid things Gabe says.
Cancel.
I forgot about that one. That's real good.
Like, wow, I was pretty smart. Yeah.
Enjoying this hard-hitting interview? Become a Babylon Bee subscriber to hear the rest of this conversation. Go to BabylonBee.com/plans for full-length, ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave D'Andrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee.